So now that we know what the fit interview is and what firms are looking out for, let's talk about how to address and tackle those points systematically when you're preparing your fit interview. All right, so the first one is having the right level of detail. And I'm sure many of you have heard of this thing called the STAR method. If not, it stands for situation, task, action, and result. So situation, task, action, and result, 4 key components to unpacking each experience that you've had and walking the interviewer through in a very clear way. So again, it's really important, I cannot emphasize this enough, that you're super clear and structured in your response, because the interviewer will have heard hundreds of these responses and you need to make it as easy as possible for them to follow you. So STAR method is a very safe one. It's one that is quite trite, but it works and people are expecting it. So it's kind of almost like a standard. And then the next part of this is concision. So be very concise. If you don't need that level of detail, then don't go into it. And we'll talk more about this as an example later on as well. But for example, situation and task, those are usually stuff that we want to be really concise about, keep it to the minimum. Action and result are things that we want to drive more of and expose more of our personal impact. So that's how you drive concision, keep the response short and sweet, and dive in deeper when they ask for it. Okay, so the second one, right kind of detail. Again, observations, action, rationale, these are the things that we want to highlight, right? We don't want to go on a long spiel about how, oh, I found this situation was really challenging, people were complaining, I didn't know what to do, and then I had a long time sitting in my room thinking about what to do. No one wants to hear the long story, but we want to focus instead on what actions you took to resolve those problems. So again, think about telling the story from your perspective, what makes you unique in that situation. So it's all about EQ. First, you have a high EQ. You're able to observe people and see their emotions, understand, read the room basically, understand how people are feeling. So that's observations. Actions, very clear again. Okay, number 1, I did this. Number 2, I did this. And why did I do number 1? It was because I had this observation. I realized this person was unhappy, and therefore I decided to, say this thing to alleviate the concerns, for example. So observations, action, and rationale. And at the end of the day, we want this to be a personal story, right? So don't forget about the emotional side of it. And we want to be brought along on this journey, so to speak, and really understand how you operate as a team player with emotions, with different people who might feel differently from you. So that's the crux of asking fit questions, okay? Third one is right skills. So we've touched a little bit on this, showing that you have a high EQ, driving personal impact, and identifying solutions. So again, spend more time talking about how you analyze this situation, how you decided based on your logic, based on your internal frameworks, that this action is the right one, the best one for the outcome and for the team. And then the last one, spend more time talking about these solutions rather than the problems, because that's where you add value as a team member.